Hello friends and viewers, and welcome to my Flavia character guide. If you're here for a quick reference, I've created a pocket guide for the beginning of the video. Flavia's trait is Abundance. At the start of battle, Flavia turns all tiles within 2 tiles of her into Flower Field, lasting for 2 turns. When allies stay on Flower Fields, their healing received is increased by 15%. When Flower Fields are hit by fire attacks, the tile becomes burning. At the start of battle, Flavia summons one Thorniflora, a type of plant buddy summon. Only one plant buddy is allowed at a time. Plant buddy inherits 100% basic attack and defense and 120% basic HP from Flavia. Note how this is worded. Plant buddies will not inherit any stat gains from gear skill effects. When Flavia is present, Plant Buddy has increased attack and defense. Allies on Flower Fields gain damage 2 and damage reduction 2 buffs. Plant Buddy receives double effects from damage and damage reduction series buffs, and enemies on Flower Fields take 20% more damage from Flavia and her Plant Buddy. Here's a quick table detailing Flavia's gains at each star level. Notably, she will see the most power increases at star level 3 and star level 5. Her initial skill is Vital Force. This is a decision skill where you select to use Vital Force Bloom, Vital Force Nourish, or Vital Force Shelter. Vital Force Bloom grants the target Attack 2 and Crit 2 buffs, lasting for 3 turns. If the target is a Plant Buddy, it will transform into a Thorniflora and change its Bloom skill from a single target attack to Glorious Bloom and AoE attack. Vital Force Nourish is a single target heal, healing for 80% of Flavia's magical attack and grants the target Magical Defense 2, lasting for 3 turns. If the target is a Plant Buddy, it will transform into Summiflora, a healing-focused Plant Buddy. Vital Force Shelter grants the target a physical shield equal to 100% of Flavia's magical attack and grants the target Physical Defense 2. If the target is a Plant Buddy, it will transform into Luniflora, an assisting cover-focused Plant Buddy. Vital Seeds resummons Thorniflora if it is fallen. This can only be used once per battle. Let's review the Plant Buddy abilities. The Plant Buddy trait is Flavia's Plant Buddy. All attacks on Plant Buddies are considered frontal attacks and they cannot perform standard movement. When Flavia takes fatal damage, Plant Buddies will sacrifice 80% of their current HP to grant Flavia Resolve, which can trigger once per battle. The Plant Buddy then becomes stunned for 1 turn. Their basic attack is Germinate. This is a single target attack dealing 80% magical damage and turns the target's tile into Flower Field. Their reaction skill is Suppleness. When within 2 tiles of Flavia, damage taken is reduced by 30%. They gain Resolve, which when triggered recovers 1 HP. When Resolve triggers, they deal 50% AoE damage to all enemies within 2 tiles of them, and then eliminates after attacking. They have an active skill called Migration. This is an instant skill that teleports them to any empty tile within 4 tiles. Going over each Plant Buddy, Thorniflora's unique active skill is Bloom. This is a single target attack which deals 110% damage, and if the target is on a Flower Field, then deals an additional 20% damage as well. If Flavia casts Vital Force Bloom on the Thorniflora, their Bloom active skill becomes Glorious Bloom. This converts their Bloom skill from a single target skill to an AoE skill. For the Summiflora Plant Buddy, their unique skill is Light of Healing. This is an AoE heal and the same skill learnable by Angel. They also have the passive skill Summiflora's Nourishment. This is an aura. At the end of the turn, all allies within 3 tiles recover 60% HP, dispel 3 debuffs, and their tiles turn into Flower Field, lasting for 2 turns. Lastly, the Luniflora Plant Buddy is defensive focused, having the Guard and Co-Defense passive skills. At rank 1, I recommend Earth's Blessing. Earth's Blessing is a 0 energy cost 2-turn cooldown support skill. It grants Move 1, Earth's Blessing, and immunity to movement debuffs to all allies within 3 tiles of the target range, lasting for 2 turns. The Earth's Blessing buff turns cross paths into Flower Field while moving, further creating more Flower Field tiles on the map. As a side note, if Sophia Promise uses frontline deployment on a character with Earth's Blessing, that will also spread Flower Field tiles. Nourishing Dewdrop is a 1 energy cost single target heal for 100% of Flavia's magical attack, and turns the target's tile into Flower Field. If the target is a Plant Buddy, the healing is increased to 150% of her magical attack, and before healing, converts 3 debuffs into level 2 buffs for 2 turns. Earth's Blessing is a great support skill to spread Flower Field on the map. Nourishing Dewdrop by itself is a strong and efficient single target heal, but Flavia can still heal through Vital Force Nourish or the Summiflora plant buddy. At rank 3, your options are Earth's Beloved or Nature's Guidance. Earth's Beloved is an aura effect that increases attack and defense for all allies on Flower Field by 10% and reduces the attack and defense for enemies on Flower Field by 10%. However, if you are using other auras with similar effects such as Attack Command, Flag Waving, or Magnus's and Hasna's traits, these do not stack. If you are lacking in these aura effects in your character roster, then lean Earth's Beloved. With Nature's Guidance, when Flavia is present, Plant Buddy deals more damage and even greater damage against enemies on Flower Field. My personal pick here is Nature's Guidance. At rank 5, I recommend Lush Vitality. With Lush Vitality, when any ally within 3 tiles of Flavia receives a single target attack, she will heal them for 20% of her magical attack and turn their tile into Flower Field. This can trigger up to 2 times per round. With Survival Master, this decreases active damage taken by 8% and decreases environmental damage taken by 70%. Environmental damage includes battlefield objects such as explosive barrels, boulders, knockbacks, and etc. Lush Vitality has more impactful supportive properties. The amount of times that you encounter environmental damage is either avoidable or infrequent. At rank 7, I recommend Nature's Protection. Nature's Protection is a 4 energy cost, 0 turn cooldown skill. This skill deals 70% AoE damage to all enemies within 3 tiles of Flavia, inflicts a damage 2 debuff, and turns tiles into Flower Field. For targets on Flower Field before the attack, Flavia will inflict an additional Move 2 debuff. Plant Buddy will duplicate a Nature's Protection cast from its location as well. Sprout Abundantly is a 2 energy cost, 0 turn cooldown skill. With this skill, you select an empty tile and deal 60% magical damage to all enemies within 2 tiles of the target range. It will also turn tiles into Flower Field and teleports the Plant Buddy to the targeted tile. This helps with Flower Field spread and Plant Buddy's mobility, but Nature's Protection offers greater damage output. At rank 9, I recommend Verdant Arrow. Verdant Arrow deals 10% more damage than a basic attack and turns the target's tile into Flower Field. Invigorating Strike adds energy recovery to her basic attack. At rank 11, I recommend Breath of Cornucopia with the Castalia for the One Beloved by Plants. With Breath of Cornucopia, if Flavia ends her turn standing on a Flower Field, she recovers 20% HP and 2 energy for herself and her Plant Buddy. Flavia will also gain 2 random level 2 buffs. If not on a Flower Field, then Flavia will turn the tile under her and her Plant Buddy into Flower Field. With the One Beloved by Plants, when Flavia is present, Plant Buddy has their attack and defense increased by 8% and takes 40% less damage. At the end of Flavia's turn, she will turn all tiles within 2 tiles of her into Flower Field and teleports Plant Buddy to her side. This is a damage-focused build, selecting Nature's Protection as Flavia's primary damaging skill and Vital Force for its various buffing and supportive properties. Breath of Cornucopia is selected primarily for its HP and energy recovery to fuel Nature's Protection and Vital Force casts. This is a support-focused build, using Earth's Blessing to spread Flower Field throughout the map and buffing allies and debuffing enemies with the Earth's Beloved aura. Use Vital Force on Plant Buddy however appropriate for damage, healing, or support. For weapon recommendations, recall that Flavia's Plant Buddy will not benefit from the attribute gains in each weapon's gear skill effect. Life Fondness is Flavia's astral imprint. This is best used for support, buffing allies, or adding more power to her Plant Buddy. If Life Fondness is inaccessible to you, empowering Flavia herself is still important. Starry Sky Heritage and Diffusing Prism are both fine options for the stat increases. For trinket recommendations, Old Scrolls of August is a decent option for support and can trigger Life Fondness. Just be mindful that as both Life Fondness and Old Scrolls of August grant a level 2 buff, you risk some overlap with buffs. Again, while Flavia's Plant Buddy cannot benefit from the attribute gains in each trinket's gear skill, empowering Flavia is still important. Origin Hourglass, Shield of Justice, and Blood Luxite Amulet are all reasonable options to increase damage. You can also consider Fancy Hat to further boost Flavia's high magical defense, or Disaster Bottle to deliver more team support with debuffs. For tarot options, Dream of the Magician is a good option to increase Flavia's overall AoE damage if she is regularly casting Nature's Protection or Sprout Abundantly. Course of Fortune is a versatile and hybrid option for damage, healing, mitigation, and energy recovery. On any maps with high target count, it is always reasonable to consider Temptation of the Devil. For some engraving options, Because Flavia's plant buddy only inherits her basic attributes, it is reasonable to consider double sword engravings for the higher attack ceiling, translating to more attack for her plant buddy. Otherwise, sword and wand remains a fine combination and a comfort pick for the attack and defense increases for Flavia only. To provide some composition and usage tips, Flavia's skill kit consists of empowering her plant buddy, spreading flower field tiles, and supporting allies with some buffs and healing. Her plant buddy is an active party member, so keeping it alive is an essential part of her overall playstyle. As iterated so far, because her plant buddy only inherits Flavia's basic stat attributes, it is potentially reasonable to equip Flavia with a tarot without an exclusive effect in favor of more stat attributes. Recall that starting from star level 3, Flavia's plant buddy doubles the effects from damage and damage reduction series buffs. Consider pairing Flavia with Edda for Guiding Gleam's damage 3 buff, or Samantha and Layla for their damage reduction 3 and 4 buffs respectively. Flavia is part of the Drifter and Discipline categories. Consider building a team with her using Miguel's and Urkambe's leaders' auras. For a quick overview of external category buffs, Miguel's World Drifter aura gives 5% more attack and 10% more defense than typical leaders' auras. With Akambe's rewards and punishments, Flavia does not have any skills with a cooldown of 4 or more turns, but her plant buddy will benefit from Akambe's aura buff. That concludes this character guide. If you have any feedback to share with me, please leave a comment below. I'm open to listening and being wrong. I'm another player improving and learning more about Sword of Convallaria just like you are. Remember, if you find conflicting information to other guides or content creators, then that means there are multiple ways to build a character and still achieve success. Finally, my social media contacts are displayed here to connect with me as well. Last but not least, I want to credit and shout out these resources for helping me put together this character guide. Voyage Memento for character build samples and reference links, the No Potion fan site for skill images and skill descriptions, and the Billy Game site for character art assets. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.